everybody, how you doing? I don't know if anybody's actually out there at the moment, so I'll just see how things pick up in the next couple of minutes or so, and we'll get started with doing some Blitz BASIC on the Amiga tonight, so something a little bit different to usual, but I thought it'd be a bit of fun nonetheless, so yeah. Yep, so if you're out there in the chat, just say hi, otherwise I'm just going to carry on getting ready here, so I'll be right back. Oh good, I did unmute the microphone, just wanted to double check that. Hey there Tim, how you doing? Hope you're well. Sorry, just still getting set up. It's a bit of a late one, this one. It's not going to go on for much longer than an hour tonight. So, but yeah, hope you're well, Tim. Hey, Just AT, how you doing? Good to see you. Hey, Justin, nice to see you as well. New name in the chat. So, albeit that I haven't done a huge amount of streaming actually over the past month, but it's just been really busy. But things are going to get a little bit quieter for me now. So, with work and all the rest of it, so yeah. Hey Dave Paul Jones, I'm just going to make sure that I can actually view the chat on here, so hopefully the audio levels are good, guys. So glad you're well, Tim, that's good to hear. So I'm going to try and keep track of all of the conversation tonight. It's going to be difficult because obviously I'm going to be tapping away on the Amiga here, but we'll do our best. So let's just try and find somewhere to put my chamomile tea, so that'll do there. The average thing that you have on your desk, an Amiga hard disk caddy, but there you go. Hey intruders! Yeah, we all have fond memories of those days. But those days are still with us right here, right now, so no need to feel like those days are gone, so yes, we all have those fond memories, all good stuff, so do throw them down in the chat. So I'm just going to flick over full screen to the Amiga here, so needless to say it is the real thing still, so I've purchased a little expansion actually for the Amiga 600 actually recently. The eagle-eyed amongst you might notice something just ever so slightly different, so Tim knows what I'm on about, so at the moment it's actually working. Who knows how many crashes we'll have tonight as a consequence, though, so need to tidy up this folder, it's a bit of a mess, isn't it? So let's just bring up Blitz BASIC here. Okay, cool. Hey Dave, how you doing? Yeah, basic indeed. You have 3 in your toolbox. That's cool, Tim. It has been a long time in around. I hope you're well. There it is. This is what I was looking for. It has been a long time in Ran, yes. Can't remember how long actually. Months, if not much longer than that. So So yeah, so this is Blitz BASIC here as boxed copy, which is a little bit damaged from storage in a loft and that, but still seems to work just about. So the most important thing in here is that it's got a manual. So not using the 1200, no, Intruder. I was going to use it for some more streaming coming up soon though, so do look out for that. So it's just the 600 is, obviously it's the Amiga that I've had since well, 1993, this very one that's in front of me, and it's just incredibly useful. So it's small, it's compact, so yeah, so there's the ring binder manual that I've got. Very handy to have a paper manual. So yes, you're going to get milk and bread, Dave, good for you. So Phil, yours using Amos, good to see you, Phil, hope you're well. You're stuck on Amos. I never got the hang of Amos. I do want to though, because I think actually it has some sort of charm. So yeah, I do want to get into it soon. So hey there Neil, Retroman Cave in the chat. How you doing? Hope you're well. So Tim says the A12 needs a filter on it. It's very yellow. It is very yellow. It's a luminous yellow. So I've not done any Blitz BASIC coding for quite a long time actually. It does have to be said. It has been a long time. So apart from some basic dabbling, which no pun intended, that I have done this year, I've not really done any proper coding with Blitz for a long time. So let's just get stuck in. What I'm going to actually work on. So basically, I was on Amiga Bill's Twitch stream a couple of weeks or so ago, and he had this problem where he had two images which both had separate palettes, and he wanted to merge those palettes together, and through a very convoluted process using AdPro, he was able to get the two together. Now, I'll be honest with you, I'm still not quite sure what he did in AdPro to do it, but it looked very complicated. So I thought, well, why not make a little tool that's going to make merging palettes together a little bit easier? Because I do come across it myself. Now, I'm aware that Personal Paint has some tools built in. Somebody actually mentioned that actually in Bill's Twitch stream that evening. And but where would the fun be in not actually coding your own little utility? So you've been really busy working on some games, Imran. Cool. I haven't used a Genlock yet, Imran, but it is on the cards. It is on the cards. Watch this space. Indeed, lol, indeed, Dave. So, use Blitz Max quite a lot on the PC. Yeah, wow, that's cool. I've never used Blitz on the PC, but it was quite a thing for a while, wasn't it? So what we're going to do here is we're going to just basically start with some Amiga DOS program, or Amiga OS programming rather. So now this is the first time I've done this in a very long time, so I'm sort of looking through the manual here, just looking at the various parts of the documentation about opening screens, and also you've got the ASL library and so forth, which is rather useful. Of course, the other really let's just see. Here we go. So ASL library commands, that's not anything to do with MSN or anything like that, if you guys know what I'm on about there. Yeah, it's just oh, it does do a file requester. So this is typical Blitz BASIC documentation. So ASL screen request, nothing to do with age, sex and location in this case. The Amiga standard library is what ASL stands for. So Blitz BASIC's documentation is legendarily terrible, basically. It goes off on tangents, it's just got big gaps missing. At one point, Mark Sibley, the main coder behind Blitz BASIC, starts going on about the new version that's coming out for the Atari Jaguar. But ASL screen request, it says here, and this is the documentation, bear in mind, those of you who just get to grips with 2.0 and above will find that this command makes your programs look really good. However, I haven't got time to explain the difficulties of developing programs that work in all screen resolutions. What are you? Question mark. I'm not joking, it actually does say this. Yeah, unbelievable. So we've just got some enable flags and inevitably those enable flags are going to be stuff that you're going to have to look in the Amiga OS ASL library include files more likely to find out what they actually are. So we're not going to be able to ask the user nicely at the moment because I'm going to need to learn how to do this again. What screen resolution they want to open this screen in, but let's just see that it actually does tokenize ASL screen request. It does, yeah. Yeah, and I'm using quite an old version of the editor here as well, so unfortunately I don't have the help installed, so yeah. I haven't used Blitz in 20 years either, Just80, so wow, that's cool, Imran, you got a CDTV. Well, obviously Tim in the chat has a CDTV as well, or should I say Commodore CCTV. You went into dev pack straight away, Tim. Whoa, brave. That's very brave. 68k assembler. Right, so with that in mind, I'm going to go straight to making a screen, and I'm just going to use probably a low-res screen, I guess. So let's go with screen 0. So this will be the first screen I'm going to define. I'm going to make it low resolution, which is $0. Title, okay. I don't know what we're going to call this application yet, but let's just call it palette merger because it's late and my creativity is probably not the same as what it... Oh, hang on a minute. That's the short syntax. I want to use the long syntax. So I'm going to open this at screen position 0, 0. So that's X and Y there. The width, I'm going to make it 320 wide by 200 high. I'm going to change that in a minute, so just bear that in mind. Depth, I'm going to make it 5-bit planes. I'm going to guess it's in bit planes, not colours. Yeah. V mode. What does V mode mean? The V mode parameter refers to the resolution of the screen. Add the values together to make up the screen mode you require. Well, it's just $0 then in that case. Title, so this will be palette merger. Need a string. The palette power, I like that one, Phil. That's quite cool. So Zeb and Chris have rewritten the documentation Blitz BASIC. Oh, that's amazing. What would we do without Mark Sibley's legendary documentation, though? It's hilarious as it is frustrating. So, D-pen. What does D-pen stand for? I'm going to guess that D-pen is the default pen and B-pen is the pen that text renders. Obviously, I'm reaching well back into my... Okay, so let's just run this. Let's see how many errors I get straight away. Yay! I've got a screen. Look at that. Nice. And obviously clicking the mouse should hopefully quit the application. So cool. I'm going to go with Phil's suggestions. We're going to call this the Palette Pal XL 500 Turbo GTI edition. There you go. So, because, you know, everything needs to have the bells and whistles, so I'm going to change it. I'm not going to keep it like that, so it doesn't even fit my low-res screen, so we'll just take out edition now. Okay, right. So that's cool. So we've got our screen there. I'm going to get rid of this mouse weight. I'm going to add some menus now. So there are menu commands. It's been a long time for me as well, Dave. This is the first time I've actually sat down and done some Blitz for a few months, and even then the Blitz that I did was only for one of my videos that I did, and that was mostly sort of non-Amiga OS stuff. Now, back in the day, and I've talked about this in previous streams, I was much more of an Amiga OS programmer with C and so forth than I was a games programmer on the Amiga. So this is quite nice actually to be doing this after all these years. So let's go with menu commands. 195. This is why paper manuals are good, guys, isn't it? So 195. Okay, so let's go with So I'm just reading whilst we do this. So it looks like we have to open a window to basically get a menu attached to it. So we need to create a window then in that case. It will gradually come back to me how you do Amiga OS programming, so right, okay. So let's do window. So this will be the first window. We're going to open it at 0 pixels across. No worries, Tim. Have a good evening. Great to see you. Hey, Sabertooth Barnacle. Hope you're doing well. So Y position, I don't know exactly, but I'm going to go for 12 width and height. We'll go with 320 to start with, and we'll just make this 100 pixels tall. Flags, so that'll be all these over here. We will allow the window to be dragged, so that's like so. We'll let it be sorted, so there's probably a better way of doing this, but just for the time being, I'm just going to add these hex values together. We'll allow it to close, just so you can see the various parameters. And then it would be just plus 1000 to activate it on opening. And then we've got the title, so we'll just put Palette Pal in there. So D pen is the colour of the detail pen of the window, so I'm going to make that 1. B pen is the block pen of the window, so things like the border around the edge of the window, so I'll make that 3. These sound much more like Amiga OS 1.3 and similar sort of hooks, because if I remember rightly, there is a command for a more slightly 2.0 oriented window openings, so I might be wrong, but window tags, that's the one. Yeah, so, but this will do for now, so. And then we've got a gadget list. Well, we don't have a gadget list yet, so we're going to leave it there. So now we need to get this to respond to actions. And I think we need to use something called IDCMP, if my memory serves me right. Which is the Intuition Direct something something something. Default IDCMP. So default IDCMP allows you to set the IDCMP flags used when opening further windows. You can change the flags as often as you like, causing all of your windows to have their own set of IDCMP flags. I see, you could OR these values together rather than adding them, so let's try that. There's a pipe, there it is. There we go. So I think we need to do this before we open. Oh, that's the default. So yeah, so we probably oh, I see. So any windows open for any default IDCMP command sets will be open with the IDCMP flag setting of, and it basically lists them out. So an event that's reported when the window size has changed, when the window's contents have been corrupted and requires a refresh, when the either mouse button has been hit, when the, not when the mouse has been moved, that's good because that's quite intense, reported when a gadget within a window has been pushed down. It's $20, $40 for reported when a gadget in a window has been released, $100 for reported when a menu operation window has occurred, $400 when a key press has been detected, when, and also $200, sorry, reported when the closed gadget window has been selected, when a window has been activated and deactivated. So actually those will be fine. So yeah, exactly, Sabretooth. It has been a long time, so that's cool, Imran. Do post a link. I'll approve it in chat. Very good, Pavel. Very good. Very good, Pavel. Atari rules. So now this is not necessarily good program flow at the moment, but we're going to do a wait event. Because that waits for an event to occur. Wait event will halt program execution until intuition event has been received. The event must be one that satisfies the IDCMP flags of any open windows. If used as a function, wait event returns the IDCMP flag of the event. So that would be something like gosh, now this variables. Can I just use a word, 16-bit value or not? I don't know. These might have to be long values actually. Usually in Amiga OS they were, I think so. That's about the idea, Pavel. Except hopefully I'm going to go a little bit beyond that. So you may find a window object then. Okay. Okay, so that will return what occurred. Oh, hang on a minute, that's a reserved word event, so we'll just call this E. Then event window tells us which window it occurred to. So we could do if E equals $200. I think was a close event, wasn't it? So yeah. So we could just basically do this, actually thinking about it. Do while E Not equal. I think that's the not equal operator in Blitz. E.L equals false. I'm only making this up as I go along a little bit here, so... because my memory's a bit rusty, as you might imagine, after 20 years, so... Hey there, Kev, how you doing? Hope you're well. So, hey, Robert, how you doing as well? And Amiga Dude, Fury A600, how you doing? I'm on my Amiga 600 tonight as well, so let's see if this actually works. We're about to find out. Ooh. So far, so good. So, presumably I can move this window around now. Yep. Obviously, there's no other windows on the screen to sort, so that's all good. So presumably now when I hit this should quit the program. Amazing, it worked. That's not too bad then, is it? So what I might do is delegate this event handling to a function, because that's the way we should do things, really, isn't it? So what are the function bits and bob procedures? Here we go, functions, 30 was statements as well, isn't there? So let's go with a function. It doesn't necessarily have to return anything, does it, to start with? So function handle IDCMP, I think I'll call this. End function. I think we need those braces on you in there. And then, hopefully, can I drag select in this? I can. Copy. Oh, and that inserts it where it was. Interesting. Sort of remember this has slightly janky copy and paste, so the more up-to-date Super TED editor doesn't behave in such a quirky way. So let's go with okay. So this should do the self-same thing. So let's just save this actually for a minute. So, oh, thanks, Kev. You're always there giving us a shout out. So, yeah, that was an awesome build, wasn't it? Imran, Neil did an amazing job. So, thanks, Justin. Yeah, it is kind of refreshing, isn't it? This is what got me, well, not Blitz specifically. That would the Commodore 64 holds the title as what got me interested way back when in coding. Unfortunately, my interest in coding is virtually non-existent these days, but except for when it comes to stuff like this, I might be able to get into this a little bit. You never know. So I'm quite enjoying this at the moment. It's quite immediate, isn't it? So, hey Craig, how you doing? That's interesting, Phil. Yeah, that was always the thing that they said that Amos couldn't do it with, couldn't do it, but Kev says you can do it with library calls. That is interesting. So, bit jarring tapping between this next code. Yeah, I bet, Justin. So, yeah. Amiga format gave away Blitz a few times, I believe, at least twice. I seem to remember getting a Blitz cover disc in 1996 on Amiga format. So, legal procedure call. Okay. Why is it an illegal procedure call? Is it because it doesn't return anything? It's entirely possible. So, let's try that. as I say, it's been a few years since I've done this, so it's going to be a bit rusty, unfortunately. There we go. You're not suffering the post-Blackpool blues. Yeah, it's a shame that I couldn't make it this year, but it just clashed with my work, unfortunately. There we go. That looks pretty good, and we should be able to click close, and it still closes. Awesome. So now I should be able to attach some menus to this. So I'm going to create a menu list before I open the screen. Let's just go to the menu commands. Of course, obviously the ultimate would be to try and do all of this using C like I used to do years ago, but my skills in that are, well, not C itself, they're probably still okay, but the obviously the Amiga aspect of it is, well, probably non-existent these days. So menu title defines a menu title to add to a menu list. So menu list 0, so this is the first one we've defined. So actually I might do this as a statement as well. So create app menus, like so, in the statement. There's no auto-correct in this. So menu title, so it's the first menu, 0, menu. Okay, so this is going to be the first menu item, and the title of this one's going to be, well, Amiga application is generally called the first menu project, so we'll stick with that. So, and then down here we can do set menu 0. Now I believe, I don't think this is necessary, but you have to use a use window statement to define which window is going to be targeted by set menu. It was a good one again, was it, Craig? Oh, it's such a shame that I missed it. So, meeting and drinking with the man behind Derek Finn's was a highlight. I bet so. Hey there, Rob. How you doing? So, hey, Meta05. It does take you back, huh? Hope you're well, Rob. You felt like a proper criminal, did you? Uninitialized menu list. Okay. Why is that? Have I been a... Oh, I've been a Dumbo. I've not actually called. So I need to create app menus. Like so. Just going to save again. Here we go. So this goes to prove that there was a bit more to the Amiga than just playing games on it. It was actually a full-blown computer. So now when I right-click, we should have a project menu. And indeed we do. Ta-da! So the idea is that this is a low-resolution screen because ECS and OCS Amigas can display 32 colours on these, which is going to be quite handy when we want to sort of, say, merge together a whole bunch of palettes. I can actually also set this to run in extra half bright or ham mode if necessary, so we'll see how that goes, but ham mode starts to get a bit tricky, so we'll stick with this. Obviously, if this was an AGA Amiga, or if this was an Amiga with a graphics card, say with a Radeon 9200 like somebody had a Swag recently, or an older card like a Picasso 4, or one of the newer ones like that, is it the ZZ9000? You know, you could open a 24-bit screen and, you know, an 800 by 600 or whatever, and nobody would say anything about it, kind of thing. So, but we're just going to target this sort of low-end Amigas. So, yep, I went to them in Imran, the World of Amiga shows at the Novotel in Hammersmith. Yep. Pretty much went to all the World of Amigas up to and including the last one, which I think was at Kensington Town Hall in 1999. So only 20 years ago. But yes, I do have very fond memories of going up to the Novotel with my dad for the World of Amiga shows back in the 90s. No worries, Rob. I've not been streaming a great deal either, to be honest with you. I know what you mean about life getting in the way, but hopefully life was getting in the way in a good way, if you catch my drift. So let's create a menu item now. So that's as simple as calling menu item. It's going to be for menu list 0. It's going to be, oh, we've got some flags here. So again, Mark Sibley's documentation strikes again. A value of 0 creates a stand select menu item. Standard, anybody? So we'll make this a standard one because it's just an option. Okay, so menu, so that will be 0 because it's the first menu we want to attach this to. Item, so this will be the first item. And the item text will be quit. And the shortcut is going to be Q, so because that makes sense. Not Q exclamation mark. There we go. So that should create a simple menu item. Hey there, Sindra, how's you doing? Hope you're well. Sabretooth, I don't know whether there was any EHP games that stood out graphically. I believe Desert Strike may have used some extra half bright, but yeah, a bit of coding here. Amiga OS coding here. I'm starting work on my little palette tool, which came as a result of the Amiga build stream that I was on recently. So there we go. Oh, looks a bit messy there. I'm not sure what's happened there, but okay. Well, that's not what I expected, but never mind. No, I don't believe it was Craig. I mean, there was no mention that it would be the last meet, but yes, it was. So, somber events. I don't remember them being somber as such. I think mostly people just ignored whatever Amiga technologies or whatever they were called that week. With Petro and his plethora of CDs and other such nonsense. Yeah, that was about it, really. You won a trip to London with Gus Honeybun. That's legendary, Dave. I loved Gus Honeybun. Sad day when TSW went off the air. Did I go to any of the future entertainment shows? I didn't, unfortunately. I only got my Amiga in 1993, by which time it was, I think, the last... Was there a future entertainment show in 94, maybe? But, yeah. Oh, Graham. Aladdin was EHP. I didn't know that, so... I know exactly, Imran, isn't it the case, though? Yep, something like that, Sindra. Absolutely, some pre-bedtime surfing, so a bit of a warm-up, so... Okay, so, why is this a bit janky looking? So, let's try and take off the shortcut, so just for a moment. I don't know at the moment, so maybe that's just one of those weird Blitz things that's going to need to be looked at. So let's just try this. There we go, there's my quit item, so that's all good. So doesn't do anything at the moment, but that's fine. So now we need to refer back to, I think, my wait event. So reported when a menu operation within a menu has occurred is $100. So what we could do here is create another statement, handle events, and we will put E in here, statement. I'm just going to put an if in here at the moment because I can't remember the select or the switch statement in Blitz off the top of my head, so let's just do this. So if E equals $100, which is a menu event, so then we'll do handle events, and we'll dispatch E to it. And now what do we do with this? How do we tell what menu was clicked? Menu hit. Menu hit returns identification number of the menu that caused the last menu event. As with gadgets, you can have different menus for different windows and the same identification number. Therefore, you may also need to use event window to find which menu caused the event. If no menus have yet been selected, menu hit will return -1. Okay, so we want to use item hit by the looks of it. So item hit returns. Okay, so I'm going to define some constants up here because they're always useful. I can't actually... Or can I use an insert line thing up here? Insert line? Yeah. Great. Can't remember how to... Is it A and W? Yeah. Define constants. I think it's just const or something like that. So... There's a lot of looking down in this video, or stream, because I'm reading the manual. System constants, maybe that's it. So 23. Oh no, those are just system constants. So new types, don't need to use new types. Arrays, string variables, nested loops, multiple commands, booleans. I'm sure you can define a constant in let's just try this. No. Okay. Procedures, no. Objects, don't want to use objects. Input, output events. What's playing in the background, Sindra? It says some music from Chrono Cross, one of my favourite JRPGs on the PlayStation. Oh my gosh, Imran. Naughty boy, huh? No, I didn't manage to make it to Noise this weekend for Amiga 34. But Graham did, as he's just said. So, unfortunately, I was working this weekend. Outside of all this stuff, I'm a wedding photographer. So, and I was working down in Devon this weekend. Oh, constants. Here we go. A hash sign before a variable name means it's a constant, no longer a variable. Okay, so hash project. Well, actually, let's 0, and then menu item quit equals 0 as well, and then I should be able to do so I need to capture what item was hit and what menu was hit, so that was menu hit and item hit, wasn't it? I don't know about you guys, but this is quite fun. So, menu clicked, I'll call this one. I'll make it a byte because it doesn't need to have massive numbers, does it really? So, maybe I'm being stingy, I don't know. So, and menu item hit. There we go. Right, now I need a select statement or switch statement of some description. Not sure. I will find it. It's in here somewhere. I'm sure there is a statement, isn't there? I will find it in a moment, maybe. Let's just check the index. Select. $96 it reckons, but it might not be what we're looking for, so program flow commands, here we go. Select. Okay, so it is what I thought it was. Select. Menu. Clipped. Case. Hash. Menu. Project. Need an end select. Doesn't look like we need to put break statements in this, so yeah. Yes, I didn't say hello, Dave. But I was in the other end of Devon. I was down in Dartmouth, so not exactly around the corner from North Devon. So well, there is no case else at the moment. Essentially, so there's just a waiting for something else to go in here. Nothing to see here. And then we can find out what menu item was clicked. Menu item clicked. And then we'll put a case. Hash menu item clicked. Okay, so this is where we need to... Well, I suppose we just call end, for example. It's a bit rough and ready, but it might work. Let's just save this. Here we go. Imran, that's a very good question. What game would I choose? I would be very interested to see what they would do with Turrican. I'd still want it to be pixel art, but I guess there's a game on a Dreamcast that is very much in the vein of it. It worked. Wow. There you go. Look at that. Not the nicest way of doing it, it has to be said. So let's do this properly. Let's close the screen. Oh, actually, we could call a function, couldn't we? We could call end application or end app, because we've used app elsewhere. So now the annoying thing about Blitz is that you can't call statements or functions, I don't think, that haven't been previously defined in the code. Somebody might want to correct me on that. So we want to close the window first. Free window closes down a window. Okay. It's quite straightforward, isn't it? Free window 0. And then free screen 0, I presume. close screen. Nothing like consistency. Close screen. All good. Okay, so that goes in there. Yeah, that would be cool, Imran. That's a good shout, actually. So, it was pitting down all day, wasn't it, in Devon? Absolutely. So, it was awful weather. Hey, Mad Commodore, how you doing? Don't worry about missing the start of the stream. I'm going to leave it online for a little while afterwards. So, I'm going to be going for the next probably 30 to 45 minutes. So, let's see where we've got. Actually, oh no, that's fine, I think. Although it won't have actually have... I'm going to close it here because I've forgotten something important. I actually do need to tell the application to finish with an end statement there. And then here I can actually replace this with end app. I think it was, wasn't it? Or something like that. Yeah, end app. Save. Compile and run. Time to get the milk. I thought you did that an hour ago, Dave. Obviously this has been far too interesting. There we go. All worked. Nice. Not doing anything useful yet, but you can't have everything, can you? Let's just tidy up some of this line spacing. Right, I'm just going to tidy this up a bit here because there's a few defined values here. Oh, I can use... It's quite a modern shortcut, isn't it? Square brackets. Square brackets to indent. I'm sure there's a few things I use even these days that does that. So select E case. I'm going to call this ID CMP menu action. Just put a hash in front of that. Menu action, and we'll make that $100, and we'll have IDs TMP close action equal $200, isn't it? I can definitely tell that I'm a better coder than what I was back in the day, because actually some of my C code was a lot better towards the end, to be fair, in the last 3 or 4 years of using the Amiga, but some of my early basic code was very, very ropey, so this feels as if it's been written quite nicely at the moment, so some of you may disagree. Am I always interesting? Oh, hey there, Michael. How you doing? So, no news yet, Mad Commodore. So, yeah, maybe this week. But obviously, with the typhoon this weekend, I don't know if that will have interrupted their work a little bit. So, I'm supposed to know by the end of this week. But I'm just going to probably leave it until the end of next week. And then I'll probably give them a call on Thursday just to see how things are going, and obviously express that obviously the typhoon may have affected their ability obviously to respond, because obviously it was quite horrific, wasn't it? So yeah, I know the feeling, Mad Commodore. I had just the same thing. So yeah, we do forget, don't we, Phil? Absolutely. So blimey, that's interesting about Julian Assange. I never knew that, so... Well, so long as I don't end up holed up in an Ecuadorian embassy as a result of writing this, I would consider that a success, so... I mean, worse things have happened, so... Okay, so I think this now still all works. It's looking good. The little 68,000 Amiga 600 is running quite nicely with all of this. But I'm sure obviously compared to an 040 or an 060 Amiga, there's lots of people laughing their heads off at the way that this draws the screen, but it's looking good to me, so. Would I say it's better to learn C or Blitz BASIC? It depends what your intentions are, I think, Mad Commodore. If you really want to just get to grips with actually how Amiga OS works or works, you really do need to look at C, really, because it all makes sense through that. But you're looking at a learning curve that's going to take you, I'd say, anywhere with JITs or GAD tools. They're a bit of a pain in the bum, to be honest with you, in C on the Amiga. The rest of it's fairly straightforward, so it's not verbose code, it's just a bit convoluted, so. But otherwise, I would suggest go with Blitz. You might get it will allow you to rapidly prototype something, see if it works. If you come across a reason why it's not going to work in Blitz, then start looking at C. I still have my Amiga Developers CD with the ROM kernel manuals and all the header files and so forth in the loft. So at some point, I'm going to set up possibly VBCC, which I used to use actually on the Amiga back in the 90s. Or perhaps I can get hold of a copy of Lattice C. I used to have Lattice C for my Amiga, but long since disposed of that. But I'm sure I can get hold of a copy of something like Lattice C or SAS C and get going with it. But for me, Blitz is going to be fine for what I want to do, so. Absolutely, Mad Commodore, you must be respectful about it. That's why I won't be jumping down their throats on Friday afternoon to say I haven't heard anything. It's been 3 weeks. You know, so it's just about giving them some breathing space. You know, obviously, tragically, many people have lost their lives as a result, and yeah, you just got to be sensitive of these things. And I know they will get back to me, and I can put my own eagerness and patience aside. I have to feel quietly confident about my application, otherwise you wouldn't have any, I don't know, of the integrity required to sort of do these things in the first place. Or I don't think I mean integrity, but you know, like the belief in yourself that it is possible, shall we say. You have to have a little bit of self-belief, don't you? So, no worries, Santi Darchi, nice to see you. There's a room free in the embassy if I need it, Phil. Good, good. I'm sure Julian's probably just popped out to get the milk with Dave. No accelerator in my Amiga 600, Michael. I have purchased a slight upgrade to it this weekend, actually. I have let me just show you. On the side here, you can see a little PCM. There's a PCMCIA flash card there with 2 meg of RAM. And I've got 2 meg of chip RAM. But this weekend from Amiga Passion here in the UK, I purchased a 4 meg card that sits on top of the 68,000 now. It's not clamping down as securely as I'd like, so Steve is sending me some kind of thing to help clamp it down on the 68,000. But you can see at the top here that I've got almost 5 megabytes of fast memory free and most of my chip RAM free. But otherwise, it's just a Motorola 68,000 in here. It's a superb machine. I love it to bits. I get so much use out of this machine. I've got no desire to put a Furia or Vampire in here. In fact, the Vampire is the last thing I put in here. I think Vampires are awesome, but they're not for me, so. I refresh, fix it, good stuff, so. It's all possible, Mad Commodore, all possible, so. Yeah, there's GCC as well, Evil Spoon, good shout. Nice to see ya. You need 68k assembly. Full lattice or SAS would be ideal in the end, absolutely, so. No news from Japan is good news. Yeah, absolutely, yeah, they've not outright rejected me, so. I've been spending money, you're absolutely right, Dave, and I'm very naughty, so. I did win an Amiga 1200 Santi-Touchy, no excuse to get a 68060. Wow, might have to remortgage the flat. Gaffer tape, that might be one of the options, Dave, so. The memory was £45, Michael. Not too expensive, so. yeah, I do like C. That was my main jam back in the day. So absolutely loved it. It was fantastic. So let's see if I can bring up a confirmation request. Or I don't know whether, can't remember whether Blitz has these built in or not. So let's see, menu commands. We've got the Gadget stuff here. AREX, we don't want to do AREX. Not today anyway. We've got the macro, or BREX as it's called, serial port. Don't think it's with the ASL stuff, because I don't think requesters are anything to do with ASL, confirmation requests or anything to do with ASL really. That's the Amiga standard library, as I say, nothing to do with what it used to mean on MSN Messenger. Yeah, we just got the path requests, file requests, all useful, but submenu off. Yeah, not sure that there is a built-in confirmation requester. Might be wrong, but it's not leaping out of me at the moment, so no. Okay, not to worry, that's fine. Yeah, that's good, Michael. Hey, Phase 101, how you doing? So have I met any other females pioneering the retro scene as you have been, or any? Well, to be honest with you, I don't really see myself as any pioneer, to be honest with you. I'm just doing my thing, really. Have been for years, really. Certainly the last 20 years or so. You know, sort of when I started making websites as sort of paid gigs and stuff, so, and that, but obviously there's plenty of others on YouTube. I mean, obviously there's Maddie, Miss Mad Lemon, who's been going for many more years with me and all the rest of it, and she's a hardware genius, and I don't know anything about soldering or resistors or something, so, but no, I've not really met any other sort of, apart from, I mean, in my day job I work with another female web developer, another girl that I work with, so we get on really well together, so I suppose that's kind of unusual, maybe, that the pair of us are web developers, as it were, so we don't have any guys or, you know, men doing web development where I work, but yeah, I've not really met anybody, but I mean, there's loads of people out there that are sort of doing this stuff. I suppose the unusual bit is that I delve into the coding side of things on the 16-bit systems like the Amiga, whereas yeah, there's a few out there, isn't there? I'm trying to think of the girl's name who does the 8-bit stuff on the Commodore 128. Is it June? It might be June. But that's brave, mad Commodore, so that sounds good, Michael. The Fury is a great card, yeah. Yeah, Santidachi, that's true. A Mac Mini G4 would do the job nicely, so. Right, how am I going to do this requester then? I think I'm going to have to use maybe the Intuition library. But yeah, easy request args, but yeah, that's going to probably be a bit advanced of what we want to do today, to be honest with you. Yeah, I'm going to look into that separately, so yeah. For now, I'm going to use some of the Amiga standard library stuff, the ASL stuff. So let's do that. I'm going to add a new menu item here. I'm going to change some of these values here as well, because up here I've got some constants, haven't I? So menu project, menu item quit, and so forth. So let's change this. Spell it correctly would be good. So Michael, I use a Magewell USB, no, HDMI to USB, is it? Adapter. Excellent piece of kit, and that's fed straight into the Mac, and OBS picks that up just as a like webcam source almost. So which means that it's nice and quick. So much better than the Elgato thing that I used to have. Nibbles and Bites, that's who I'm thinking of, Phil, thank you. What are we coding, Evil Spoon? So basically I'm making a little utility that is going to allow us to merge palettes together for my pixel art. So quite often I will draw something, and that might be 8 colours, say, on the screen, and I want to use that graphic on maybe a 16 colour image that I've drawn. But when I come to expand the colour palette in Deluxe Paint to allow for those two, because I'm going to need at least 24 colours in that example, what I need to do is be able to bring a new palette together. But Deluxe Paint doesn't make it actually very easy, because you can remap, say, a brush or an image to another palette, but it's not going to add in those other extra colours. You can load a palette, but you can't append a palettes and stuff. So this is just going to allow me to load in different palettes and make new ones, and then I can load those into Deluxe Paint and then merge bits of artwork together much more easily, rather than having to manually transfer the RGB values one by one to create a new palette. So it will just make it a lot easier. So oh, I think I've got that a little bit wrong, so this needs to be still a 0 here, and then we have the menu itself, and then it's the items. So menu item quit, I think it was. Right, I'm going to make that number 1 now. This is why I want to use constants, because I can't keep on revising my code. And we'll make this 0. And here I'll adding a new case. Menu item load. And I'm just going to do, I think it's beep screen 0. That will just flash the screen just to say it's been hit, as it were. So, and then here I can add a new menu item. 0, 0, 0. Menu project. Menu item load. Like so. Okay. Yeah, I think for Blitz BASIC 3 you need to have a 68020 at least, really, to use the code. That's the only thing, because I think it does include some stuff like to do with the FPU and stuff like that. So, is my understanding. So I'm using the old-fashioned Blitz BASIC here. That looks like that worked. So now I can do an ASL file requester. So let's just get rid of that line. Oh, it's not that. Oh, A and D, okay. I'm just going to write this in line for now. ASL file request $. Oops. Choose a palette. Will be the title of the requester. file name. I don't believe we're going to set a default file name, so more classic Mark Sibley documentation here. The ASL file requester is nice. Except for the highlight bar being invisible on directories when you get to use the keyboard for everything. Well, that's true actually. Stick in a pattern $ to hide certain files, and of course you get whatever size you want. I made it called a Blitz file requester if the program is running under 1.3. Isn't that nice? Exclamation mark. So yeah, interesting. And then he proceeds to waffle on about the rec tools library. So I couldn't get the save only tag or the create directory option working. Maybe next upgrade. You couldn't make this stuff up, could you really? So anyway, so we don't want a default file name, and we don't really need to use a pattern. And we'll open this at 0, and I'll open this at 24 down. Width and height, we'll make this 160 wide by well, let's just say that this is going to be 160 tall for what it's worth. In fact, actually, I'm probably using... Oh, it is brackets with these ones. Okay, that's cool. So then we get the file name here. I'll just do $FN. And then this is just a bit messy, but just to illustrate the point. So window output 0. Oops. No, that's right. 0. And then I should just be able to do locate. Do I need to position a cursor anywhere? Don't think I do actually. No, it doesn't look like it, so... Oh, here we go. wlocate, yeah. Let's do wlocate 0, 0. Oops. And we'll do print $FN just to see that it actually picks something. This might look horrific, but we'll give it a go. So, hey there, Kevin Saunders, how you doing? So, you're working from home today. What am I coding, Pixel? I'm working on a palette merge tool based on the stream that I was featured on a couple of weeks ago with Amiga Bill. Basically, it's just going to allow me to have more than one palette from different picture sources and put it all into one nice one. So, syntax error. Thanks, Santi Darchi, that's cool. I'm enjoying it as well. So, syntax error, that doesn't work. So, what have I done wrong there? ASL file request S. Title, path name, file name. Hang on a minute, what have I got here? Maybe I need to do that. That might do it. Syntax error. Okay. Let's just try doing a shorter hand version of this. Just in case. Oh, hang on, am I doing this wrong? Maybe it's meant to be FN $. Sorry, I'm in PHP mode there. I'm not Imran, no. I'm reading the manual. Santi Darchi, I'm reading the manual. But yeah, no, I can't really remember it. I just remember the vague bits and pieces, but not entirely, as we can see here. So where am I going wrong here? It has to be something to do with the string variable that I'm using. string type's 23 maybe? $1. Well, that's correct then, so $1. Menu item load, that's correct. FN dollar. Don't need a space after the function, do you? Wouldn't have thought so. I mean, it seems to indicate that in the manual, but I've not been doing that for other things I've been using. Let's try it anyway. Never know, it might work. Syntax error still. Let's just try taking that out, just to see if this works. Array not yet dimmed. Oh, it's because I've taken out too much now. Syntax error. Do you have to put one in, or can I put in false here? I don't know. No. Let's put in something specific then. Path will be sys. And the file name will just be palette. Let's see if that works. Oops. Didn't compile it. Compile and run. Syntax error. Where am I going wrong with this then? Yeah, syntax error can mean a spell mistake, Michael, but it can also mean sort of like the general syntax that you've used in the function call can be incorrect, but I'm using what is supposedly the minimum amount, so should the dollar be there? It shows it in the manual, Phil, so that's amazing, Imran. Rob, I believe it is compiled down to assembly. Yes, it is a compiled language, so well, it can be. I'm just going to do a quick Google search. Get my Mac keyboard here a minute. Just so that you never know, I might be able to turn something up. I'm probably just going to get loads of stuff about MSN Messenger. That just repeats what I've already got here. Blitz 2000 archives, gosh, yes. I remember that very well. Could do with an example, really. Oh, here we go. What's this here? Let's try doing it without the dollar on the end. Maybe that's just its notation insofar as it's going to return a string, but then it unhighlights the function. Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm following here as far as I know, so... Doesn't need to return the function assigned to variable. I did have that a minute ago, but I wondered whether my string syntax was not good. Phil, but let's just try it without the brackets just to see what happens. Syntax error. Yeah, thanks, Evil Swoon. That's very kind of you to look it up, though, so... Strange. Some old source code here. What does that suggest? Maybe it wants actual strings in here rather than... But that wouldn't make any sense. That would be rather strange, wouldn't it? So... let's just do this for what it's worth. Undone at the last hurdle, so... but not to worry. Let's just try that and see what happens. I pretty much know what it's going to do, so... oh! Huh. Not enough space in the path string. At least it actually ran that time. Hey Morgan Just Games, how you doing? Maybe... let's just try that, see what happens now. Nope, not enough space in the path string. Well, that's this bit here, isn't it? So... it's just such a shame there's just not an example in this code here. I don't think I've got anything on here that's... I don't know what's here. Let's have a look. ASL demo. Oh, hang on a minute. This might be what we're... this might help us. Oh, great. So this is doing it actually using basically Amiga OS calls itself. Oh, that's not very helpful, it has to be said. But presumably this works, so... yeah, that's essentially what I want to render, folks, is one of these. Okay, but that doesn't really help though, because that's using all of the Amiga OS built-in routines itself. What to do? Try assigning nothing to B dollar. Yeah, I think I did have that. I might be wrong though. Yeah, that's what I'm guessing, Rob. Yeah. What's going on here? I'm making a Amiga utility to merge palettes together for my pixel art, so I can bring together two different images with different palettes, and saves me having to copy the values manually. So which one's the pass string? That would be B. That's A dollar. Sorry. So I think, yeah. You might be onto something, Rob. Yeah, allocate string space. Maybe it's I've got to dimension an array. But yeah, maybe should I just try that? Because it's a bit like the syntax that's. Oh. Maxlen PAS19. Okay, interesting. Thanks, Phil. That might just be it. So, okay, let's try that then. So, yeah, thanks, Lee Russ. I think that's pretty much what it is. So it is pretty much what Rob said there. It's about a buffer, isn't it? So. Okay, so we'll do with path equals, I'm doing it like PHP variables again, so it's been a long time since I've done this. Oh, max, okay, so you do maxlen first. 192 characters, we'll stick to what it says, although I can see that might sometimes need to be longer. It's 192 as well. Oh, and that's a reserved word, so we'll just call this file name. So now, we just go path and then file name. Save this. The suspense will be worth it, folks. So yes, this is a slightly different stream to the usual gaming malarkey and that. A little bit more, and also the pixel art, but don't say it's not varied on here. Hey, we've got a file requester, lovely. We'll choose this file here. readme.ted. Awesome. Let's choose something that's in, I don't know, docs, graphics. Something like that. Well, obviously it's going to overwrite, but it's actually got the full path there, so that's excellent. So we would be able to load that as a file, basically. So what I'll probably want to do is pass this off to perhaps a wrapper function of some description, like let's say $file equals get file, something like that, and then we'll have a function defined here, function get file We're back up and running, folks. It is more fun. Victory indeed. Victory indeed, Phil. But yes, this does seem more fun, so... Despite the fact we had a little hold up there, but we got there in the end. It's just a lack of documentation that sometimes scuppers these things, but never mind. So we're going to do P... Sorry, I'm doing this wrong again. Max len P dollar equals 192. Max len F dollar equal 192. And then I'm just going to move this. So that's it, and then we can get rid of some of these. File. Oh, sorry, that's no good. So this is going to have to be FN up here. Keep on getting this wrong, don't I? And then we can do something like if FN dollar equal nothing, I guess. I don't know whether null. Oh, it might work. I don't know if we can return. Putting semicolons on the end of things still, so let's just make sure I'm returning stuff correctly. Function return, yeah, I thought there was some interesting quirk to this. Else if function return FN dollar. Let's try that. Seem to think there's a WCLS command as well, which I think clears the window, so let's try that. This is only just to see that I'm actually getting some output, so CDU's for ASL request has really triggered nostalgia for working with dice and high soft Pascal. You're right, Rob, it does. It really does, doesn't it? It's triggering a lot of nostalgia for me. No, that doesn't work, so let's try it as an empty string. How do I know all of this? I have a manual. That's how I know it, Morgan. I've not done this stuff for 20 odd years, but I do coding as part of my day job, so it's not a great stretch of the imagination to be able to, but I'm making lots of mistakes. Can't convert types. What do you mean oh, do I have to give this a name of get file dollar perhaps? I expect that's probably going to say that I can't return false now, so I'll just return a blank string, I guess. I'm guessing that this is as much error handling as we need. Because I don't think Blitz has got an exactly equal operator. No. Let's check. We'll see that doesn't work then. Procedures. Oh, function dot. Okay, so it actually goes on here. Okay. I don't know whether. I don't think it's needed on there. Save. Let's go with compile and run. Can't convert types. Oh, okay, so it's going to moan about this now. So, with that being the case, I'm just going to return FN here. I keep on saving, folks, because I've got this new memory upgrade in here, and as I say, it does have a propensity to pop off at the most annoying moments. So I just don't want to make sure I don't lose my work, essentially. And whilst the debugger is on, I don't want to, because obviously the Amiga has absolutely no memory protection whatsoever in the operating system. It's not entirely difficult to crash the system when you're developing, so although generally speaking, if you're not doing anything too avant-garde, you should... No currently used object. Does it want me to use Windows 0 perhaps? It's possible. Let's just try to use Windows 0. Okay. Compile and run. Load. No currently used object. Oh, hang on a minute. It's because I've been a Wally brain, I can see we don't need that. I was going to say that doesn't ring any bells to me. It's because I've not changed these here. They've still got path and file name in them. There we go. Save. Hey there, Feroy2! We're creating a palette merging utility for the Amiga. So it's basically when I'm doing my pixel art, sometimes I draw a background on a 16 colour screen, then I draw another piece of artwork, maybe using another 16 colours or something like that. But it's bringing those palettes together. There are probably lots of tools that do this, but I just got it into my head it'd be quite cool to try and code my own, just for the sheer fun of it really, and that's exactly what we're doing. So, and I'm doing this on my real Amiga 600, which I've had since 1993. I'm just going to click any old file here. Oops. The Windows CLS command seems to have erased a whole window. So we probably won't use that anymore. But at least we've actually proven that we have some form of output. So that's really cool. So yes, it's just going to speed up my own pixel art. So we're at the very beginning. It doesn't really do much at the moment. I'm just building a user interface for it more than anything at the moment. So, and it has a rather silly name. So the Palette PAL XL500 Turbo GTI, because why not? So there we go. That's good. And because obviously we're not clearing this window properly, so when we print onto it, it's leaving remnants of the previous strings. So. But that all works. So there's one last thing that I want to do before I wrap this up. Actually, there's a couple of things that I want to do. First of all, I want to define a constant for my window, the main one. So rather than referring to it by number, and maybe also the screen as well. So window main, and I'll also do one for screen here. So. Because it's never good to refer to just numbers in code if you can help it. So it's just good coding practice really, isn't it? So obviously this window printing lark here is not going to stay for very long. It's just debugging really more than anything. So and here I'll use, screen main. Window main. And same thing here. Window main. And we've got end up. And because it's all handled by the same bit of code, that's already handled up here, so that should be all good. So that should tidy that bit up if I've not made any mistakes. Hey Retro Box Room, so hope you well. exactly, it's the best reason, just for fun. So it might not be everybody's idea of fun, but I'm having a good time doing it. So yeah, so that seems to all still work. So that's good. So the last thing I wanted to do is basically to add a palette gadget to the window. I'm going to use GAD tools for this, which would make this an Amiga OS 2.0 or higher application, unfortunately, but I may yet obviously revert this to being a sort of Amiga OS 1 compatible application, because that may have some uses, but for now, because GAD tools includes a palette gadget as part of its default repertoire, I'm going to make use of it. So let's see what we've got here. Nope, don't want menus. Oh, here we go, GAD tools commands. GT palette, that's the one. So GT palette. Again, I'm just going to use a literal there. I'm just going to put 0. And I'm going to make this the first gadget, so it's 0 as well. X and Y. So I'm going to put this down 0 across, and let's say we're going to put it 24 down. I'm going to make it, I don't know how wide. Let's say we're going to make it 200 wide by 100 tall. So text. So I'm just going to say that this is current palette. Flags. Okay, so I'm going to position the... I don't know if these are actually... These constants may not actually be available, so I'm going to... Oh, above. There we go. So that goes above. So that will position the label above. I think that's pretty much it. Oh, on the depth, we want to show all 5-bit planes, so 32 colours. So save that. And then we need to attach these to the window, I'm guessing. Attach GT list, indeed. So attach GT list. So it'll be GT list 0 to window main. Is it attach GT list? Yeah. Attach. Oh, I've got an extra T in there. So save and compile. Exactly, yeah, that's exactly what you need to do, Mad Commodore, wasn't it? Is to do that. So that's how I learnt. Constant not found, yeah. So that'll be an include somewhere which I don't have available, but I know from the manual. To set this to $4, hex 4, so basically that will position the label above the gadget, so that's handy. Okay, I think that's about right, so we should be able to compile this now, and we should get a palette gadget on the screen. We'll just increase the object memory a little bit. We're obviously beginning to start using some of the resources. There we go. It overflows a bit, but it's there. There we go. Cool. So let's stretch this out a bit. So let's make this 300 wide by 24 from, how high is the window? 100 pixels. So let's make it 76. Let's see whether that's right. All done? Well, not quite. A little bit more to do, Morgan, but we'll get there. So you got milk and bread. Good for you. Good for you. Oh, I see. So the current palette bit there is also going to be part of the height. So I'm going to need to make this less tall. So let's try, I don't know, 66. Maybe 60. Let's try 60, not 660. And we'll make this 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 from 320. Let's make it 312. Not 312. I think that might actually make it full width now, so. No worries, Rob. I'm going to be wrapping up soon, so. Good luck with the job interview as well, so yeah. Is my painting complete? Depends which one we're referring to. I'm always painting, so I finished one not so long ago, which was this one. Let's just pop that down there a minute. You've probably seen this on Twitter at a true name, but yeah, I finished this one quite recently, so rather pleased with it. So let's just bring it up for you guys. I'm not just a coder, you see, so I'm much more of a artist than I am a coder. So where is it? There it is. It is that one. And there's the final. So yeah, so this was the one I was working on recently, Morgan. So yeah, so that's what I recently finished up. So yeah, so say for example, I wanted to bring in, I mean, this is a 32 colour image, so on an OCS or ECS Amiga, I've actually run out of standard mode colours, really. But say, for example, this was a 16 colour image, for example, and I'd drawn another asset, another brush that was in another 16 colours. In Deluxe Paint, it's actually quite hard to add those 16 colours to an existing palette. You can load a palette, but it just doesn't append them, so it overwrites what's there. So this is just a way of me being able to, you know, merge palettes together from different sources, and then I can load that palette into Deluxe Paint and then remap the assets, and then it will all just look nice. So yeah, thanks, Dave. Yeah, I'm really super pleased with the colouring on this one as well. I'm sure I could have done even more to it, but sometimes you have to draw a line in the sand to move on to other things. But yeah, super pleased with this one. So yep, it was done with Deluxe Paint, Morgan. I put out a video today, which features some explanation of how this was done, but essentially it starts from something as simple as this one here. So it starts off with just the basics like so, and then basically throughout the process, if I just show you a couple of other files, it becomes more fleshed out, as it were. So, and gradually you start to see more details emerging, and yeah, basically yeah, let's see. So let's go here. I don't know if this has got any other background in this one or not, but let's just see. Yeah, it does. So you can see how it's layered up and so forth. So thanks, Kevin. That's really cool. Thank you. Yeah, Deluxe Paint 4 AGA is my main one, but I do also use Deluxe Paint 5 because it does have some very useful animation extras. So yeah, but yeah, this is all Deluxe Paint generally. So back to our lovely multitasking Amiga. Again, don't forget, folks, this has a Motorola 68000 in it. So this palette won't actually do anything at the moment. I can pick a file. It's going to print it in the window there. I can move the window around. I can click a colour. It doesn't actually do anything at the moment, but it's displaying what colours are currently available on this screen should I wish. And I can also close the application. So that's nice. I didn't really get to the bottom of why the shortcuts were overwriting the actual menu items in the menus themselves earlier on. I don't know if that's a Blitz bug or something like that, but it's not quite right, is it? So yeah, you can see that the Amiga logo is sat over the top of the menu item now. I'm guessing if I bodge it to say add some extra space characters at the end, it'll probably be fine, but that's not really good, is it? So that's very kind, Morgan. Yeah. How long did it take? About a week. I don't know how many hours in total, but I would say that it probably took me about 12 hours to draw that end to end. See, now that looks fine, so I'm not quite sure what's going on there. Maybe I'm just going to have to pad these out with oops, some extra characters perhaps. So let's go with Q. One last thing that I want to just see. So there is a function called request. Let's just see if I can find the definition of this in the manual. Request. Here we go. Request. Oh, actually, no, it doesn't have any documentation, so... yeah. I'll have to look that one up separately, so one for another day. So what I can now do is save this, and I can create an executable. So I'm just going to say that I'm going to make the smallest code, and I'm just going to put this in the code folder that I've got on my documents. Documents partition. Hey Anthony, how you doing? Bit late for you, Anthony. Yeah, no worries. We're wrapping up now anyway, but good to see you. Do I print them out and frame them? Yes, I am beginning to actually print some of my work, and I'm just about to mention this in a moment. So I will tell you how you can receive postcards from me, and also fine art prints, you know, proper decent prints of my pixel art as well. So I shall tell you a bit more about that shortly. So that's compiled the application, so I can quit this. Oh, I think there's one command that I do need to add to this, otherwise this is going to crash. Starting from Workbench, so let me just load this up. I need to add one simple trick. Insert a line. I think you have to include Workbench startup for applications that need to start from Workbench. And now I should be able to create the executable. There we go. So let's see if this does the trick. I should have an entirely useless application that basically opens a window, displays a palette, and has a file requester. But we've laid down some good groundwork here. There it is. So this obviously sits on a screen that's independent to Workbench at the moment, but that's because my Workbench screen runs in 4 colours. But when merging palettes together, I'm going to want to be able to show more than just the one. Just 4 colours. I'm going to need to be able to see them to, you know, make this usable. So now I've got a load requester there, and likewise if I do write Amiga in L, the shortcuts work. So I can go into this directory and I just choose that file. It shows it up there, and we've got a quit item there, so I can do write Amiga in Q to quit. And we've also got the close button, which will also quit. So it all works. Excellent. Late night Vicky indeed, Pixels, yes, but we're about to finish up shortly, Pixels, unfortunately, but obviously the catch-up will be available. 38 kilobytes that came in as, so that's not too bad, is it? So we've laid the groundwork there. When I finish this tool, I will actually just release the source code and the application. Obviously, I'm not just going to keep this to myself. You'll be able to get hold of this if you have a use for it. So actually, let's just use the built-in function to do this. It's not very tidy, but it'll do. So ooh, something's slowing up my Amiga a moment. Something else running. What's going on here? Oh, it's fine now. Either that, or I've created a nice memory leak in my application, which is consuming CPU cycles. Wouldn't be unheard of for me, it has to be said. So snapshot all. Now that should open there. So how can you receive a postcard up to twice a year and a print for me? Well, I've actually gone on to Patreon now, because I want to get more time to be able to create pixel art tutorial videos and so forth, and also just generally more content to do with my retro gaming and computing content and so forth, and it's hard to do when you're doing a full-time job. Now the chance, well, I know that I'm still going to be doing a full-time job because obviously I have plans next year for hopefully to move to Japan, but I've gone into Patreon not to fund that at all. No, that's going to be funded out of my own pocket and eventually obviously working over there, but basically for $5 a month you can receive a postcard from me, and you'll basically sort of get a mention in the videos and streams and so forth. So for $10 a month you'll get 2 postcards a year, plus you'll get early access to my videos and so forth, so you don't have to wait for them to be on general release on YouTube. And finally, there's a really super kind tier. It's $25 a month, but that will give you the postcards, the early access, the shout outs, and also you'll receive a lovely fine art print of a piece of pixel art of your choice every year from me. So and that doesn't matter where you're in the world, I will do that. So yeah, so that's basically what I'm doing. So yeah, hopefully Morgan, at least for a year or two anyway, so who knows really. So quite exciting times ahead, but I will be still doing my channel. I'll be still using my Amigas out there as well as other systems. I might have to do a bit more emulation probably with the travelling light theme, but I do hope to have the Amiga 600 out there at least in the PC Engine. But yeah, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do about the Super Nintendo and Mega Drive and PlayStation stuff yet. I'm going to have to rationalise stuff a bit. I mean, it'll all be put into storage, but there's only so much I can really take to Japan with me if it comes off. So yes, if you want to find out more about my Patreon, folks, it's patreon.com/pixelvixen, or it might be pixel_vixen. There's no obligation at all. I don't necessarily expect people to, chip in as such. We all have our own budgets, but if you do have a little bit of money to spend, you do want to support my endeavours, then obviously I'm going to be so grateful indeed. And I'd just like to say a massive thank you to my first free patrons, which is amazing, which is Doug from 10 Minute Amiga Retrocast. Do check out his channel if you don't already. Fascinating channel where he covers not just Amiga but also the Commodore 8-bits like the VIC-20 and the C64 as well as others. Jost80, super cool guy. Thank you so much for your generosity. I really appreciate it. And also Phil, who has very kindly signed up as well today. So yeah, just very, very grateful for the 3 of them. As I say, there's no obligation at all, but if you do feel like you might want to be able to support me in what I'm doing, that would be super awesome. So I would be ever so grateful. But yeah, so I think that pretty much wraps it up for me tonight. I will be doing another of these streams soon. You've been travelling back from holiday, you've been up at 4:30 AM. Oh wow, so thanks, Kevin. Yes, I will do free posts as well, don't worry. So yes, don't worry, I'm still going to be carrying on with doing general releases. Nothing's going to be hidden away. I want all this stuff to be available for everybody. It's no good it being under lock and key. So yeah, there'll be lots of stuff. So, oh, sorry, Alistair. Yeah, I'm just about wrapping up the stream. So, but lovely for you to pop in. But the whole thing will be available for you to catch up. So yeah. So thank you so much for joining me tonight. It's been great to have you, Morgan. We've had 2 Kevins in here. Dave. I think Anthony's gone to bed now. Phil's been on here. Rob's obviously got his interview in the morning, so it's cool for him to pop in. Who else have we had in here? Mad Commodore, Feroy, Retro Box Room, and many, many others of you. Lee Russ has been on here as well. Of course, obviously Alistair as well. Late to the party, but Santi Dark G as well. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been really great to have you all along. So if I forgot to read your name out, I'm so sorry. It's not me trying to neglect you on purpose. It's just my own negligence. So I hope you have a great rest of your evening, guys. I'll be on Amiga Bill's stream tomorrow night as well, so do tune into that. He's on Twitch. Yeah, I guess that's about it for me. So it's been really good fun. So I guess all remains for me to say is see you soon. Peace. Now, how do I switch this back off again? I think it's this big red button here. No, not that one.